Well, that was sheer nostalgia. I'm sure everyone present over here must have experienced this nostalgia treading down the memory lanes. And for Dr. Saab and Mrs. Cawley, the documentary must have rekindled the old memories of various occasions, happy, pleasant, and also the testing ones, and how they together navigated through each one of those. Indeed, this documentary has been a tribute to a person, a personality with multiple and multifarious dimensions, who believed in passion, perseverance, tenacity, who ensured that, yeah, there is no limit of age to being a student. And another noteworthy feature of Dr. Saab is that despite important, critical, strategic, and hence obviously stressful positions that he has handled throughout his professional career, he has struck a very ideal balance between work and life, and the physical fitness that he has preached and more importantly practiced is clearly evident in the case of both Dr. Saab as well as Mrs. Cawley. And this is something for each one of us to emulate, to inculcate within us. Yeah. But what we need to do is, yes, we also at whatever stage of life that we are, we need to commit ourselves to physical fitness and to ensure that we also lead a long, healthy life and enjoy life in all its dimensions. And now, the moment that we are waiting for anxiously. Yes, each one of us has come over here with that love, with that affection in our hearts. And we want to see our beloved, respected Cawley sir being felicitated and honored over here. So, now we move on to the grand felicitation of the father of the IT industry in India. I request that Dr. Saab and Cawley ma'am may please be escorted to the dais. Can we put our hands together? So please, and before that, I seek your blessings. Please. I'm sorry for that excess.
80s, I'm still 80s.
Oh. I would also like to invite on the dais Dr. Ritu Anand, Mr. Pankaj Baliga, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, the ex-chairman of Cognizant, and Mr. Pawan Kumar.
Even हमारे लिए बहुत है. I think we should ask them to. When did you come?
I came in this morning.
This morning. How's everything?
Everything is fine.
Good, good. Give her the information. That time she told me that. I'm going now, probably. If I think
Well, excuse me for a slight gap in between. We now request Ms. Ritu Anand, who has vital contributions to HR in TCS, to felicitate both Dr. Saab and Mrs. Cawley, initially with a bouquet of flowers. This felicitation is going to be in three parts. One is offering a bouquet of flowers. The second one will be offering of a shawl and Shri Phalam, that is the coconut. And the third phase is going to be presenting the memento. So Ritu Anand ma'am will be offering the bouquet to Dr. Saab and Kohli ma'am.
अभिषेक पहले उनको जाना है।
पहले आपको पहले आपको
Thank you very much. Thanks.
It will hide you.
I now request Mr. Pankaj Baliga to please honor Dr. Saab with shawl and Shri Phalam.
I should come that side?
He wants to do it properly.
I could use it. No.
आपको एक और लानी था।
That was the whole idea
You
to.
should have brought one more.
Keep warm. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, no. That's all.
Sit, sit.
And now, presentation of the memento to Dr. Saab by Mr. Lakshmi Narayan and Mr. Pavan Kumar.
मैं पहनूं?
पीछे रख लो ना तो
Beautiful, beautiful memento here. Yeah. Take a close-up picture of this.
Let's see the memento. Very nice.
सामने नहीं रखो.
ठीक है ना? People have to see it. Put it.
That is actually the feeling from the depths of our hearts, of the hearts of each one who is present over here. Salute to the man who gave wings to the IT industry in India. That grand felicitation with a tinge of emotion, sentiments, love, affection, and gratitude. I would now call upon Shri Pavan Kumar to share his thoughts about Dr. Saab. Again, nostalgia, treading down memory lanes.
Okay. Respected Mrs. Kohli, Kohli Saab, Dr. Pathak, and Dr. Kanodia, it's my pleasure and privilege to be here today when we felicitate Mr. Kohli on this occasion. So I came all the way to Bangalore because I owe everything to him. What I am today is because of Mr. Kohli. Otherwise, I won't be here today. Second thing, very important, I was born in 1948 and Mr. Kohli finished his BTech in 1948. So you can see the difference. So what a great contribution for all these years. So I would say whatever I learned through Mr. Kohli, because of him. So I'll repeat again, that what I am today is because of him. I owe it to him. I'm not a great speech maker, but I'll show these simple words that I owe it to him. Thank you very much, sir.
I am sure that the feelings expressed by Shri Pawan Kumar are symbolic and representative for the entire audience. Yeah, Dr. Saab, we owe it to you. The Indian IT industry owes it to you. I would now call upon Padma Shri Professor Dr. Deepak Pathak, the professor at IIT Mumbai, to share his views, his experiences about Dr. Saab.
It's indeed a privilege and honor to be here. Actually, I was warned that I will have to share some of my thoughts. I had actually prepared a proper write-up, but after I came here, a collage of memories started flooding me as I kept meeting people. And I thought I would rather share a few anecdotes, incidences, 70s, 80s, and 90s, which keep reminding me how great a person he is. You know, one part of the leadership is, apart from leading the organization and people, is to instill a sense of pride in the organization that you serve. Of course, also to instill a sense of commitment to hard work and quality. He has done all of that. But when it manifests itself through someone who is no more with the organization, I'm talking about 70s. I have a close friend, Ramesh Goyal, who was with TCS. He had left TCS, late 70s, he was running his own business. I used to handle the automation work, so to say, of the IIT systems using the famous Edimea Sistema or EC1030, which, as Pawan would proudly say, is a copy of IBM 360. In fact, unless you said source computer IBM 360, it would not compile a COBOL program. If you said EC1030, it would not. Those were the days, and of course, we had developed our programs, we were trying to implement, getting into problems and so on. And the then director mentioned it to Kohli Saab that we are having some problem or something. And Kohli Saab, with his penchant, simply said, this conversation occurred when I was not there. He told my director, if you have a problem, let me know. I'll get it fixed within a week. And the director called me ceremoniously to his office and told me that this is the message from Kohli Saab. I was very angry with Kohli Saab. How can he say that he can fix it one week and I'm struggling? Those days, I used to meet Ramesh Goyal very often. He had left TCS. Several years had passed. And I angrily mentioned to him, कि Kohli Saab ऐसा कैसा कह सकते? And you know, the moment I mentioned Kohli Saab, there's a glint in his eyes. And he said, नहीं दीपक, अगर कोहली साहब ने कह दिया तो कर देंगे, 100 आदमी आ जाएंगे TCS के. You know, that is the pride in the organization, that is the pride in the leader, that if Kohli Saab says something, it will happen. Now, if this an ex-TCS person can say with the same pride and glint in his eyes, I think that is what it means to create future leaders. And sir, thank you so much for creating so many others. In 80s, I remember TCP/IP stack was unraveled to the world. Berkeley system had released all the software, and email was becoming popular, but the email services was not there in India using it. And my friend Dr. Ramani, who used to lead NCST those days, he and I decided that we'll set up a service ourselves. So first attempt. You know, in those days, if you were to connect servers using any communication channel, the modems that you deployed had to be certified by the telecom department. Till then, you could not deploy them. And that certification process, you would remember those days, right? It would take 15 days. The first set of modems that we did not really know much about modems. Modems had to be imported, bought, whatever. And somehow, both the modems would either transmit or receive, but never do one at a time. We were all confused. We had spent 15 good days to get certification, and then another 10 days of struggle, nothing is working. We got another set of modems. Again, we had to get them certified. Again, we got them certified. They still wouldn't work. Frustrated, finally someone suggested one model, says it will work. And Ramani and I were so frustrated because again to spend 15 days in getting them certified, I said, this is nonsense, Ramani. I mean, we are not doing any bomb making or anything. We're just trying to communicate. So we decided to skip the step. Because, when you have to actually give that modem to department to get it certified. So I said, we can't experiment unless they return it back. So we decided to go ahead. And presto, the first email was transmitted between his lab and my lab, and we were very happy. And we were wondering whether we should announce, because the department should not think that we are working on some uncertified modems. That this incident came to be known, and I remember in one of the CSI events, Kohli Saab announced it, that this email transfer that happened between Fatak's and Ramani's lab, and he mentioned that they did some jugglery with non-certified modems or something. And I got up, I was in the audience, and I said, sir, we could have gone to jail. And you know what he said? You would have been the first martyrs of free India. No problem. Such was the encouragement, and I have been at the receiving end of that encouragement throughout of my professional career. In late 90s, I saw the FC Kohli auditorium photograph here, so I still recall when I wanted that this auditorium, this is really a class auditorium. I wish someday you could come and see and see all major functions, not only in the computer science department, but in the institute now happen in that auditorium. And of course, I naturally talked to Nandan Nilekani and Kanwal Rekhi, who were the major donors for our IT program. And I suggested this. The reaction was instantaneous. They said, of course, what a wonderful thought. In fact, Nandan added that कम से कम FC Kohli का नाम तो पढ़ेंगे अंदर जाते समय, उससे कुछ फायदा हो जाएगा. He came personally to grace the occasion, and his sense of humor was mentioned. What he kept, I will never forget. He says, normally you see your name given to a building when you are hanging on a wall with a garland around you. And he says, I am privileged to be here. I have had the honor of and a privilege of being treated almost like his son. And, Anuj mentioned somebody stood up when he received his call, phone call, right? So it is not well known, but my staff is now accustomed to it. I stand up whenever I receive a call from him. It is not because I am scared. I love him and I know he loves me. But there is a tehzeeb in India that when your father walks into your room, you stand up. It happens naturally. It is not because of any coaxing or anything like that. I am truly privileged. And I'll tell you, when he calls me once in 2 months or 3 months, in his booing voice, he fires me saying, Pathak, you are not doing sufficient things for Indian language computing. That has been his passion all throughout. And I standing up, I said, yes, sir, I will try to do something. I am happy to say that I am doing a lot of things in educational content in vernacular languages and running MOOCs in this. But I could never fulfill his wish that internal to the computer I should do something in Indian languages. I hope someday some younger people will do it. I am still young, I am only 70 years old. And I hope to work for at least 30 more years, and maybe many more years. And I only wish that I have his continued blessings at least for 30 more years of my active life. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pathak. Indeed, memories, memories, and memories. I can understand the feelings that are there in the hearts of each one of us. To top it up now, I request Dr. Saab to bless us with his address.
Just want you to speak for a little.
No, I'll come.
We can speak from here. All right, this is much more.
That really requires a big applause.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for this function. One, it is unexpected, but apart from that, as I have been growing old, I remembered few things here, there, but not all the things that have been said about me. Now, I feel with all the certificates that I have received today, I could get another job. The main thing is, I came back from States in 51, joined Tata's, and next year, best thing happened to me. I married Suran. And then I continued. I set up the first load dispatch center in India. And I'm very happy about it in this way. The city of Pune and Bombay get their power supply when they switch it on. It is not something which happens in every city in India. Another thing that is I'm very happy about to report to you that Tata Electric Company started using computers in '64 when I think the first computer came to was it TFR or IIT? I don't know. TFR. And in '68, it installed an online computer to control the power between Bombay and Pune. If you don't get shut down today, you have to see that. But what is important for me, that Europe was still on analog, and there were 3 utilities in the United States which had computerized. Of course, nobody in government could understand this. That is what the part is. About 17 years back, I gave a talk in the United States, and the title of that talk was India has no business to be poor. I have worked in India since 51, and I can tell you that Indians are very bright, they can do a lot of things, and somehow or other I have not a very positive experience about the government, and it's who look after the government, because you have in this country alone that you have a secretary, agriculture, who has never even planted flowers in his house. And he's a person who's controlling the computerization. But so it's basically I don't know what to do with this system. But the thing is, the only hope is people like you and the students that this country will go forward. I can also relate some incidents how TCS was set up by Mr. J.R.D. Tata, and because I had installed a computer for Tata Electric Company, I got sucked in. But end of 72, I went back to him and I said, I want to go back to the power field. He was surprised. I told him that Mrs. Gandhi doesn't want computers in India. I have no work except to clean up all the backlog of the bank. All the banks were nationalized that time. And then one fortunate thing happened. I got appointed as a director for Region 10 on IEEE Board of Directors, New York. And that is the time I worked on Burroughs. And Burroughs came to India as Tata Burroughs. And we started export of software. We have done very well in exports. But what about this country? 80% of the revenue even today comes from exports, and only 20%, 20 or 25% within the country. No, I don't know. I'm at the tail end of my life, but some of you people have to think out how to bring this, increase the level of computerization in this country. We are very, very bright. We take to new technology instantly, yet we are poor. And I have personal examples, and I sometimes don't want to say. It's the adult literacy program we brought. The idea was 30 hours of work, person will be able to read newspaper in their language, which happened in 10 languages. But after that, the government took, it has not progressed at all. The thing is that people are very, very bright. Even those people, I was surprised, who had age 25 and never read anything, how fast they picked up reading of the newspaper. But I don't know how you people who are young and even not so young, but not so old as I am, will do something to take this country forward. And Professor has talked a lot because I had worked with him in some of the IIT projects, right? And why are we so poor? I don't know. I have no answer. The best of our people are holding best of places in the United States. How come we can't accommodate them in our system? And this has been right from the beginning. I came back in 51 because the partition had taken place in 47. I went out in 46. And my family had to migrate from Peshawar to Lucknow. And I had not seen them for 5 years. I wanted to be with them for a little while. When I went there, and it dawned to me that we were so prosperous in Northwest Frontier Province, and what we were. I pondered over it whole night, and I decided I would take a job that Tatas have offered me and stay in this country. So, but the thing is that what again I am emphasizing, this country has no business to be poor. This country has no business to have such an illiterate population. How come? And I am too old now to talk about it. I've done whatever I could. First to Tata Electric Company, 18 years. And as I said, we installed a computer when only 3 other utilities were computerized in the United States. But the thing is, the government doesn't recognize that. Mrs. Gandhi's government thought computers are not necessary for a country like India. But they didn't realize that you can be a leader in new technology and take over the world. Anyway, thank you very much for this honor. I've never seen any movie on myself before. And and also what I feel very fortunate, I met my colleagues like Pawan, Lakshmi and others, and here Patak and and all that. And I didn't have opportunity for quite a while to get together with them. So I am grateful to God that He has kept me alive, and I am grateful to you people to arrange this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Those words, that address, really deserved a standing ovation. Dr. Saab, we feel blessed to have heard you today. And yeah, there is a silver lining. Things will change India indeed has no business to be poor. And India will never be poor from now onwards. We have made very firm strides on the path of digitalization, the entire country. Knowingly, unknowingly, the country is ensuring that your dreams fructify and fructify to the core. The younger generation is taking keen interest in computerization. And it's evident from the fact that the kind of education that is imparted here, things definitely will change. The brain drain that we have experienced over a period of time from here to the States, the younger generation will have more attractive and luring opportunities in our own country, and the younger generation will stand committed to our own country. And we are seeing and we are experiencing the change. And Dr. Saab, definitely your dream of making India a very rich country will definitely fructify, will definitely come true.